They deceived me because they thought I was a weak woman, but they had no idea that for years I had been hiding a secret that would one day change the entire company, my family, and the balance of their power. They deceived me because they thought I was a weak woman. They believed I would stay silent, accept everything, and eventually remove myself from their path. But they had no idea that for years I had been protecting a secret that could change not only my life but also the balance of the entire company, my family, and their power. Even now, sometimes at 3 a.m. when my suburban home is completely quiet, streetlights shine through my window, the soft sound of the refrigerator fills the dark kitchen, and a late-night TV show plays quietly in the background that no one is really watching, I remember that day. The day I finally realized that some people mistake kindness for weakness. I sit by the window with a cup of coffee, although many times the coffee has already gone cold. I think about it quietly. Was I really so silent that people believed I had no strength? I spent many nights without sleep. Sometimes I thought about sleeping pills, even Ambien, just hoping the constant movie playing inside my mind would pause for a while. But eventually I understood something. The problem was never only what happened to me. The real problem was how long I had allowed myself to see my own worth through other people's eyes. I had been with that company for almost 18 years. When I first joined, it was a small business with only a few people, a small office, and a huge dream. I never saw it as just a job. I made it a part of my life. I remember the nights when everyone else had gone home and I stayed under the office lights finishing reports. The days when I sacrificed time with my family to handle difficult clients. The moments when I made decisions that helped the company move forward, even when someone else received the credit. But I never complained. My life was not only about the office. I was a mother, a wife, and an ordinary American woman. I considered Sunday Costco trips a family tradition. I smiled through Thanksgiving dinners even when I was exhausted inside. I attended PTA meetings trying to be the perfect mom, and sometimes while looking at 401k accounts and retirement plans, I wondered if we were so focused on building the future that we forgot to appreciate the present. My husband used to say, "You have given so much to that company." I would smile. Because maybe even I didn't fully understand how much I had given. My CEO Robert trusted me in the beginning. He knew I had helped the company through some of its hardest moments. He used to say, "You are the person I can rely on when things get difficult." But success changes people. New investors arrived. New leadership came in. And slowly, the people who had built the company started being treated like obstacles. The experience that was once my greatest strength slowly became something they used against me. Then that day came. There was a major meeting at the Seattle office. Rain was falling outside the glass building. Inside the conference room, people were looking at their screens, holding Starbucks cups, and discussing future plans. Robert finished his presentation and looked at me. "We need to take the company in a new direction." I stayed silent. Then he started questioning my work. He said I relied too much on old methods, that my thinking no longer matched the new generation, and that maybe it was time for some changes. I listened to everything. Then he said the words that changed everything. "We don't think you bring the same value to the company anymore." The room became silent. Some people avoided eye contact. Some probably knew this was coming. They thought I was weak. They expected me to become emotional, argue, or make a scene. But I simply collected my belongings and quietly walked away. Because there was one thing they didn't know. I had a secret. Years earlier, when the company was growing rapidly, I had created a complete business strategy and operational system. It was not just a plan. It was a framework that could become the foundation for the company's expansion, financial planning, and internal operations. I never revealed it publicly, because I knew some things only receive their true value when the right moment arrives. And the biggest secret was that the intellectual rights to that system were legally protected under my name. I created it at a time when everyone was only looking at company profits while I was looking at future risks. A few weeks later, the truth appeared. The company entered a major financial crisis. A major client was preparing to leave, investors were demanding answers, and leadership had no clear solution. Then they discovered that what they needed had already been created years earlier. My system. My work. My silent effort. Robert called me. The same man who thought I was weak. "We need your help." I stayed quiet for a few moments. The old version of me might have wanted him to experience this moment. Maybe I would have wanted him to realize his mistake. But I had changed. I didn't go there to defeat anyone. I went there to show the truth. I returned to the office. The same people, the same conference room, but this time everything felt different. I presented my system. The room became silent. Because everyone knew that the woman they underestimated was the person who had been the most prepared. Robert slowly asked, "When did you create this?" I calmly answered, "When I was doing my job." I didn't embarrass anyone. I didn't blame anyone. Because my goal was never revenge. My goal was simply to understand that my value could never be reduced by someone else's decision. A few months later, I left the company. This time by my own choice. I started a new chapter of my life somewhere my voice, my ideas, and my hard work were truly valued. When I look back today, I don't feel happy that they struggled. I feel peace because I found myself again. I learned that the greatest revenge is not defeating someone else. The greatest revenge is knowing who you are and what you are capable of. Morning light began spreading outside, the TV was turned off, and for the first time in a long time, my heart felt completely peaceful. I closed my eyes. And I realized that the secret I had protected for years was never meant to hurt anyone. It was only there to remind me that my strength had always been inside me. A new day. A new life. A new me. If this story touched your heart and reminded you to believe in your own strength, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our journey. Your support motivates us to bring more powerful stories that inspire, encourage, and leave a lasting impact.